Into this problem, it is given a 200 ohm resistor and 1 Henry inductor are joined in series with an AC source of EMF 10 root 2 sine 200 t volt, and we have to calculate the phase difference between the EMF and the current into this problem. So basically here it is given a resistance is there of 200 ohm and inductor is there with 1 Henry and AC source is connected here, and it is 10 root 2 sine 200 t volt, and basically we have to calculate what is the phase difference between the EMF and the current. Okay, so first to calculate the phase difference, what we'll do here, we'll try to solve this problem using the phasor technique. So to solve this, first we'll try to write everything which is given here in terms of phasor, right? So this resistance, we know resistance we can write in phasor form. R phasor we can write as R angle 0, right? So here we can write R phasor is equal to R resistance is 200, right? So 200 angle 0. So this is our R phasor. So this is our R phasor, right? Next is L is equal to 1 Henry. So first we'll try to calculate XL here, and from the equation of voltage here, V is equal to 10 root 2 sine 200 t, we can write here the value of omega, that is the angular frequency of this circuit, that is omega is equal to 200 radian per second. Omega is equal to 200 radian per second. So what we'll do here, we'll try to calculate the XL first. So XL will be equal to L omega. So L is given 1 Henry, 1 into omega is 200. So omega into 200, that is 200 ohm, 200 ohm, right? So the value of XL is 200 ohm. Now what we can do here, we can calculate the XL phasor. XL phasor. XL phasor can be written as XL angle pi by 2, right? This is how we write XL angle pi by 2. So XL is equal to 200 angle pi by 2, 200 angle pi by 2, and this is also written in this form also, j cap into XL. So it can also be written as j cap into XL is 200. So this we have to remember, this is how we can write the XL phasor. In phasor form you can write like this. XL phasor can also be written as XL angle pi by 2, or we can also write j cap XL, right? So depending on the situation, we can use either of the form here. Now we have calculated everything in terms of phasor. So what we'll do now, we'll try to calculate the impedance of this circuit, right? So impedance phasor, we'll write here impedance phasor here. So impedance phasor is Z phasor. Z phasor we'll try to write. Z phasor we can write as R phasor plus XL phasor, right? So R phasor plus XL phasor. Phasor is nothing but R only, plus XL phasor. XL phasor can be written as JXL, right? So we can write as JXL. So this can be written as R phasor. What is the value of R? R is 200. So that is 200 plus J cap and XL. XL is 200, right? So this is Z phasor. Z phasor here we can write as 200 plus J cap into 200, right? So this is the value of Z phasor. This is the value of Z phasor. Now writing this into the vector form, we can write is, you can see here the real part is 200 and the imaginary part is also 200. So on plotting the phasor diagram here, we can say this real part is 200 and this imaginary part also 200, right? So this is 200. So adding these two vector here, we can add this. So this is 200, and the resultant of this is Z phasor. So this is Z, right? And this angle is, let's say, theta, right? So magnitude of impedance we can write as under root of 200 का square, under root 200 का square plus 200 का square. So that becomes 200 root 2, right? That is the 200 root 2 ohm is the impedance here, and the tan phi here we can write tan theta. tan theta can be written as 200 by 200. So 200 divided by 200, right? So 200 by 200, that is equal to 1, that is equal to 1. So from here theta can be written as theta is equal to 45 degree, 45 degree, or you can also write pi by 4, pi by 4. So the z phasor you can write here, z phasor can be written as 200 root 2, 200 root 2 angle pi by 4, angle pi by 4. So this is the z phasor, right? Now z phasor we have calculated. Now after calculation of z phasor, right, voltage phasor is already given. It is given V phasor. If you see here, it is given V is equal to 10 root 2 sine 200t, right? So if you have to write V phasor here, so here only we'll write V phasor. So here we can write V phasor. V phasor will be equal to 10 root 2, 10 root 2 angle 0, right? Because it is sine omega t plus 0, omega t plus 0, right? So V phasor will write as 10 root 2 angle 0 here. Fine. Now you can see here V phasor, already we have information about V phasor, and we have already information about Z phasor also. So current phasor we can write here, current phasor, I phasor. I phasor can be written as V phasor divided by Z phasor, V phasor by Z phasor. So V phasor is 10 root 2 angle 0. So 10 root 2, 10 root 2 angle 0 divided by Z phasor. Z phasor is 200 root 2, 200 root 2 angle pi by 4, angle pi by 4. So from here you can say this I phasor, this I phasor is equal to root 2 cancel, and 10 by 200, that is 1 divided by 20, 1 by 20 angle minus pi by 4, angle minus pi by 4. So the magnitude of maximum value of current into this circuit is 1 by 20 amperes, and its phase angle is minus pi by 4. That means you can check here, the voltage phasor was angle 0, right? Angle 0, and the current phasor is minus pi by 4. That means we can say the current into this circuit is lagging, right? So you can say voltage here leading, voltage leads by pi by 4, voltage leads by pi by 4. And we can also note here one important point here, because into this circuit the components are resistance and the inductor. Now the property of resistance is, actually the resistance tries to keep the current and the voltage in the same phase, but the property of inductor is, because of inductor it tries to leads the voltage by phase of pi by 2, right? The property of inductor is to make the voltage lead. In pure inductive circuit we know voltage always leads. In pure capacitive circuits current leads, right? So here inductor tries to leads the voltage, and the resistance tries to keep the current and the voltage in the same phase. And finally the voltage is leading here by phase of pi by 4.